Biddly, 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 but yes, yo. Here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. Nobody do it how we does it. It's time. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. He's in, he's on, he's over, he's here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. Quick shit vid. I do not want to drop the ball tomorrow, boys and girls. I'm starting to panic ever so slightly, just a touch about tomorrow. I actually think I feel as though maybe it's just me, but I feel as though I've maybe dropped the ball a little bit with, West Brom and like how good West Brom actually are, because I don't fear anybody in this league, as we all well know. But, West Brom are a decent side. Obviously, Mowbray, he's come in. They're pushing for playoffs, a fifth in the league. They're on 51 points, which is a staggering difference between us on 75 and them on 51. From first to fifth is, that's what, 14 points, 65. That's 24 points. 4 points are getting 55, 65, 24 points difference, man. It's crazy amounts. I mean, when you just look at the wins, we've won 10 more games than West Brom. But ultimately, they are fifth in the league and they really do need the points to push for the playoffs, because that little mini-league that's occurring now, with sort of the top four, even Burnley and Sunderland, I would say, have dropped away now. Burnley's still in with a bit of a shout with us. They're 7 points behind us, whereas Sunderland are now 13 points behind us. So them two are in the playoffs for certain, minimum. And then you've got West Brom, Blackburn, they're both on 51 points. Coventry on 50, Bristol on 49, Watford on 48, Norwich, Middlesbrough, Millwall, all on 47 and 45. Even Sheff Wednesday on 45, all the way down to 13th. So, 6 points between 5th and 13th is crazy. So there's a lot riding on it for West Brom. And they're notoriously a bit of a difficult side, aren't they? I know Mowbray's come in and switched it up a little bit, gone away from just Joe's favourite manager, Corberan. So I don't know whether Mowbray's now just Joe's favourite manager in the world, but I know that he'll still be beaming about, Chrissy Wilder. So, he's still got his favourite managers in the league. Do not fear. But in Farker, we both trust. But yeah, I just don't want to drop the ball tomorrow. It's 12:30 kickoff as well. It's going to be a difficult game. They might come kick up a bit of a stink at the start. Mowbray is probably more progressive than Corberan, but it's still like pragmatic football in it first, defensive first, and then they do sort of try and get forward. I'd argue a little bit more on Corberan. I don't want the same game as the away fixture. That was the worst game I think I've ever watched in my whole life. I thought it was absolutely rancid. I couldn't stand it. So I'm hoping for significantly more of a performance than that. I do think we will pull it out the bag, to be fair. I think they'll be on fire, but I think it could be a tricky game. I'm going with 2-1 on the basis that I think it might be. We have conceded a couple in the last couple of games. I was thinking when I went on Joe's show the other day, we planned on by the end of the month having a 7-point gap on second in the league, which I think will be Sheffield United. If we can get it to 7 points by end of month, I think we're in a really strong position then. 7 games to go to end of season. And then it's promotion party, baby! Yeah, boy! Promotion party! Yes. Ampadu, fucker came out and had a bit of a wild press conference. Didn't really say much like he normally don't, but he did say that we got asked about Ampadu and how we were getting on. Obviously, he's got a knee injury. He's had it before, but it's actually his other knee. So, it is a problem for Ampadu. One thing that I find interesting, and this is not a diss to Ampadu, as I think him and Dan James are probably my favourite footballers at the club right now. Byram gets said that he's made of biscuits, and Byram's appearances are through the roof. So, it's Ampadu, Gruev, Struick. They're the ones that are made of biscuits at the moment. You could argue Firpo gets a lot of injuries. So, really, Byram's got this label. This is what we talk about a lot on Underlap, don't we, boys? Shout out to everybody that tuned into Underlap yesterday. Shout out to Mark Bradley, legendary MVG, Ming, Andy Rowe, Cragger. You're all legends, boys, so do not fear. You're all remembered. Mark Bradley was handing out the memberships like he was Santa Claus again. I think Ming handed a few out. So, yeah, shout out to you, boys. I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, made of biscuits, yeah, so it's once you get labelled with something, like Gruev's labelled as the most defensive midfielder in the world now, saying he doesn't like passing the ball forwards, and that he's stuck with it now. It doesn't matter how often he is around edge at box trying to actually create something, he's just got stuck with it. But I actually think Ampadu's out for the season. So the fucker were saying, they're going to go into it's either surgery and then he's definitely out for the season, or they're going to try and rehabilitate him, injections and all that stuff, and hopefully get him back to a position. I said yesterday on Underlap, but it's 3 hours long, so I will abbreviate. I didn't talk about Ampadu for 3 hours, do not get me wrong, but they'll do the rehab up until a point where they know that if he's not getting, say if we've got, I don't know, whatever it is, 12 weeks left or whatever it is, if it takes him 4 or 5 weeks to get back, they'll know by then. So I think he'll go in for surgery after 4 weeks. I think that's what'll happen. They'll say, right, what's the chances of him getting back? Basically, they'll be absolutely guaranteed to have him back for pre-season, won't they? So I think the reason why they've not taken him straight in for surgery is that signs him out for the season, where they probably think there's half a chance we can get him back for the last few games of the season. We might need him. Da-da-da-da-da. So, I think they're just going with that. But if it gets to a point where he's probably not going to get the minutes, I think they'll just send him in for surgery, similar to what they did with Struijk last year. Took him a long time to get back. I personally think Ampadu's out for the season. So that being said, Farke got asked if, with his centre-back options, because obviously Ampadu does both. We're all right in that centre-mid role. We've got Gruev, Tanaka and Rothwell, so we're all right in there. He got asked about the centre-back because Ampadu sort of covers both, doesn't he? And I'm afraid to say, I think that young lad's name, days are numbered, because he mentioned Gilavogi as a centre-back before he mentioned Debayo. He mentioned Byram as an option. So it did scare me a little bit, that, I feel for that Debayo, but obviously if you're not about it and up and about it, then he's not, don't know. But a young lad, so maybe he'll get a move at end of the season. He'll be probably one of the ones that's moved on, because he's not had a sniff, has he? I was actually quite hopeful at the start of the season. I thought he might get a few games, but when we've had people out, Wobber can't get back. So we are a bit strapped at centre-back, and I know everybody was sort of saying that we need a centre-back in. Struijk, historically, when I say that, needed a centre-back in January. A lot of people saying that, and that is hopefully doesn't come to bite us in the arse. On the arse, not in the arse. That'd be too much. Well, it'd be either or. Depends who does the biting. As in, if you bite, depending on your preference, I'll do the biting, but not male. I think that's better off left red, as it were. So make what you will of that. If I'll take whatever comes from that, not literally. He mentioned Gilavogi at centre back. Now I don't know if anybody watches football or Gilavogi, but please, I'd rather not get Gilavogi in there. What is crazy is Gilavogi, we were looking at this last night, Milner's like 39, and I know he's been injured this season, but still got plenty of games. It just shows you when your legs go, because my man Gilavogi's leg, I think he's 33, 34, and my man's legs have gone. Bamford's still not back in training, so I think Bamford's days are done. I think we knew that anyway, but he will probably get moved on at the end of the season. I think he'll just be forced out. Do you know that is the first time Sheffield United have been beat at home when going 1-0 up this season? So the only other game that they've been beat when they went 1-0 up was away to Sunderland, who are also, obviously, as we know, a decent side. So we are the conquerors of the Chrissy Wilder. Twice, 6 points. Two fucking times. 2 times. Yes, if anybody knows what that is, you're a legend. Rafinha commented on Struijk's post on Instagram the other day saying skipper or captain. I can't remember which one it was. It was also in another language, so you had to translate it. But I'm no translator. My mum and no me. West Brom tomorrow, 12:30. Their centre backs out. Let's get at them. Let's get on ball early doors. Let's get out, get up, and get on it. Can't wait to see it. Everybody, go check my tunes out. If you type JackCity Games into YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate every which one here. Honestly, the underlap leaves me with an headache in the morning, but it's all good.
The way they've been, the results they've had, 1 defeat in 13. I've got Muppets from Leeds talking about pressures on us and Bamford and Forshaw and a couple of others, and it's over to you and this, that and the other. They got beat 7 times since Christmas. We've been beaten once. We've set it up from Christmas to be in the race.
Boom.
JackCity beach, JackCity beach. Hey!
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promise. promises. You do you and I'll do me, that's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised, that's why I